It can be hard to believe that in just 5 to 6 months, maybe sooner if you're optimistic, Wisconsinites will be out in tank tops and shorts, enjoying the sun and live music, whether that's at a dairy breakfast or a county fair. And while it's hard to see yourself standing outside at a concert today, at least you know that county fairs already have their entertainment booked and ready for you. Chris Hesse and Melissa Wolken join us from Variety Attractions out of Ohio. They are entertainment consultants and talent buyers for fairs and festivals. Melissa and Chris tell me what it takes to bring in musical talent and just how far in advance these plans need to be made.
Well, for like 2025, I started in June and July of this last year. So you almost got to start close to 8 months in advance or a year to get the acts you want.
And we have fairs right now coming up to us that they have 2025 booked already, and they're looking for their entertainment for 2026 already. So it can start as far as a year out, year and a half out, but the acts themselves don't really start looking at routing until that, June, July of the year.
I imagine tastes can change in a matter of a few years, but what is popular these days for county fairs?
A lot of the new trend is kind of the red dirt Texas bands that are drawing a lot of interest through TikTok and that kind of thing. But I've been seeing the trends going toward red dirt more.
What does that mean?
It's Texas-based bands that like Treaty Oak Revival, Whiskey Myers, Old 60s, and a new one that's up. It's just Texas bands that have always been popular in the southern states, but now they're moving up north into the Midwest and northern eastern United States.
Your traditional country, but with a little bit of a rock flair. Very true to their lyrics. They're a lot of songwriter. They really put a lot of energy into their song and then the lyrics. And so it's touching a new audience because they're paying attention to more than just the radio, which is also very important. So we appreciate you. But like Chris said, it's TikTok, it's social media, it's Instagram, Spotify. And we've had a lot of artists telling us that they're not just knowing one or two songs when they come to a concert, they're knowing the whole album. So that's a new trend too, is that they're getting to hear everything all at once instead of one hit at one time or one release at a time.
We have some generation gaps here, but all generations are coming to the fair. So when a fair board approaches you, how do you guide them into saying, here's some options that are going to meet a lot of preferences?
And I'm seeing also, I told you about the red dirt music, but also the 90s country is coming back strong with the younger kids. So Tracy Birds, the Tracy Lawrences, the Lone Stars that had hits after hits, and the fairs are seeing they want a show that's all hits, not one or two hits and then a bunch of cover songs. So they're looking at those type of acts that they can have a whole 75 minutes of number one songs that they've seen.
Is country king, though? The general country genre, does that remain king among our county fairs?
I would say, yeah, with the fairs. You have some fairs that want, like, your tribute bands, or they're getting to that classic rock. And then it just depends on, like you said, the generation gap with the trends that we're seeing on fair boards right now, with the kind of the older generation leaving the boards and the newer generation coming on. They're asking for that variety. And so what we do is we work with the boards on what's available in their price range and in their budget, and then consult them on what would do well if they're selling tickets. And then that way they ultimately make the decision. We just help guide them in the direction that would be the best for their fair.
What are we looking at in terms of a price tag?
All your big names, are $1 million and more, and your mid-level acts are anywhere from, 50 to 200,000. But any of your big names are, close to $1 million anymore.
And all the up-and-comers are kind of in that, $20,000 range or less, or even 20 to 50. And then they're growing really quickly. That's a new trend we're seeing, is they're getting really popular really quickly, and so their prices are changing really quickly. And there's also the cost that goes into the production. It's not just the band itself. They got catering, you have your lights and sound, the stage. There's a lot of different elements that go into putting on a show, and that's what we help our fairs with too.
The fair needs to be able to confirm that they will be able to pay that bill, though. That's kind of an unknown, right?
Yes, but a lot of the fairs you take weather insurance, because usually your main problem is in the summertime is rain, lightning, that kind of thing. So the fairs are insuring themselves. So if something like that happens, the insurance covers it. So that's a very important thing you need to do now with the cost of the acts.
Sponsorships are really important too. That helps offset the cost as well. So getting bigger name sponsors and letting them know what their money's going towards. So if you can put it towards a specific show, then they're more likely to help you out with that money.
So how are you guys connected then to the artists? How is Variety Attractions that bridge between county fair and celebrity?
Well, we attend all the shows that we book, and that way we're kind of the middle person between the artist and the fair, that to see that everything goes okay that day of the show and everybody gets what they're supposed to get. But we're just kind of the in-between person to be sure the show goes off smoothly.
We've been in business since 1961, and we just have really grown a nice network of people that we work with throughout the country, Nashville, Texas, and all over, that we have those relationships that we can build on and be the go-to person for our fairs so that they have time to focus on the other things going on at the fair, and then we can really concentrate on the show side for them.
Over the years since 1961, there's had to have been a standout moment, something that moved you, or a positive story of what bringing this entertainment to communities across Wisconsin or across the U.S. means.
I think what I get out of it over the 33 years I've been doing this is the joy I see when a big name comes in and the fair has 10,000 people there and everybody's made money and smiles on the faces. And I said, that's the most rewarding thing I see over the years I've done it.
That's Chris Hesse and Melissa Wolken. They join us from Variety Attractions out of Ohio. They are entertainment consultants and talent buyers for county fairs and festivals.